The 7th episode of Halo Season 2 has been released, and this episode turned out to be very interesting. Master Chief broke into the UNSC base on Onyx in the 6th episode of Halo Season 2 in order to retrieve his armor. Kai, who had been brainwashed, confronted him and nearly beat him to death. Master Chief had reached the portion of the artifact that was stored in Onyx by the time Kai discovered the truth about what Parangoski and Ackerson had done to evade the Covenant invasion on Reach. Makee's commitment to the Covenant was questioned by a Covenant priest named Udamdama. The Arbiter supported Makee, but the priest attempted to have her slain to preserve Makee. The Arbiter was compelled to intervene and engage the priest and his warriors in combat. It was revealed that Cortana was working with various people. She was informing Parangoski about everything that Makee was doing. She was helping Makee stay on the path to finding the Halo planet, and she was guiding Master Chief to the artifact in Onyx as well as his suit. Quan Ha and Halsey traversed the caves of Onyx and met Miranda. Sorian and Lara tracked Kessler to a place called Thermopyle. Now, let's find out what Master Chief and Makee saw after touching the artifact. Parangoski sends Spartans to their death. Episode 7 of Halo Season 2 begins with a conversation between Makee and Master Chief on a projection of the ring-like planet, and we finally get some confirmation of what it's going to be used for. Makee says that if the Covenant controls the planet it's called the ring, then they'll use it to destroy humankind, and if the humans get to it first they'll do the same to the Covenant. But Makee theorizes that the ring is capable of not just destruction, but creation as well. That's why she doesn't want it to fall into the hands of the Covenant or the UNSC. She wants Master Chief's help to wield the ring as a symbol of peace and life. Since Master Chief doesn't respond, Makee interprets it as his way of saying that he doesn't see eye to eye with Makee. Master Chief doesn't get the chance to explicitly state what his stance is because he is surrounded by the UNSC soldiers, while Makee is surrounded by Sing Eli's elite soldiers. The shock wave of their separation from the artifacts is felt by everyone on Onyx. The Covenant priest goes after Makee with the intention to kill her, but Cortana distracts him long enough for Makee to sneak up behind him and kill him. Then Cortana proceeds to show the map to Makee, and she spots the ring probably because her powers have been restored. Ackerson informs Parangoski about Master Chief's arrival, and it's already clear that Margaret wants to push Ackerson under the proverbial bus for the debacle on Reach, thereby making him Master Chief's target. Before Ackerson can process Margaret's, he'll turn into absolute villainy. The UNSC learns that a huge chunk of the Covenant's fleet has surrounded the ship Makee is in, which is probably around the ring, which is in the Sol system. Without giving it much thought, Margaret decides to deploy the newly trained Spartans. Ackerson protests this decision because the Spartans are not ready to take on an entire Covenant fleet, but Margaret apparently doesn't care. She orders Ackerson to find Master Chief, and he storms out of the control room. The first wave of Spartans dies within seconds of engaging with the Covenant. Margaret doesn't waste a second before the second wave, thereby causing Ackerson to wonder what her game plan is. Briggs enters to apprehend the Master Chief. Briggs gives the order for the soldiers to shoot him down when he doesn't give up. Master Chief imparts the same knowledge to those soldiers, since he has come to see that blindly obeying commands is improper behavior. Remarkably, they pay attention to him and advise Briggs to get her hands filthy if she feels compelled to act unethically. Kai steps in and knocks Briggs UNSC conscious just before she is about to shoot Master Chief with her rifle. Miranda, Quan Ha, and Halsey can be seen attempting to decipher the true nature of the cave and the purpose of gates that have a lock resembling a puzzle amid all of this fighting. At Thermopyl, Soren tells Lara that the arena is essentially a Spartan training program where he, Kite, Riz, Vanak, and Jaj went from being kids to being Spartans. He says that Kessler is going to go through the same ordeal, which is why they shouldn't intervene and allow their son to get beaten up until he learns if he is a fighter or a loser. Lara points out how messed up all this is, and tells Sorian that he doesn't actually want to unlearn everything that Halsey has put him through. He actually idolizes her, and that's why he wants Kessler to become a Spartan and not a normal human being. This is a good way of putting things into perspective, and showing how excessive warmongering and machismo can corrupt one's mind. How does Parangoski intend to kill the Covenant? Paris can be seen getting ready to confront the Covenant. She tries her best to calm down the soldier, who she observes is acting agitatedly. Kai tries to defend her actions to Master Chief, but with Cortana's assistance, he continues to advance toward his suit. Halsey provides some details about the tests she carried out in the cave. It seems that she discovered extraterrestrial DNA, a cross between human and alien. She therefore needed assistance unlocking the doors from someone with a similar DNA structure. That was why she started, as Quan Ha aptly puts it, collecting kids from all over the galaxy, experimenting on them, and then preparing them to be the key that unlocked these gates. Unfortunately, things didn't pan out the way Hai wanted them to be. Hence, they have to take the conventional route and unlock the gates by solving the puzzles around them. As Quan Ha proceeds to touch one of the buttons on the puzzle, it begins to glow, thereby indicating that she has the traces of the hybrid DNA that Halsey has been searching for. Maybe that's why she has those visions of the old lady. Maybe she is one of the ancestors of the species that built these gates. How did this species have the hybrid DNA all over the galaxy? I don't think that's a big mystery, because the answers are intergalactic travel and intercourse. Halsey and Miranda have a brief conversation about Jacob Keyes, and Miranda accepts his death in a pretty mature fashion. Quan Ha pulls out one of the beads from the puzzle, and a holograph of the stars in space forms before their eyes, while Miranda and Halsey think it's a map of the stars. Quan Ha comes to the conclusion that it's actually a clock. She organizes the dots on the holograph according to her feelings, which is probably her psychic connection to the cave and those who have built it, and that unlocks the gate, which leads them to a bridge that connects to a chamber of sorts. By the way, if you have played some games, you will know that they have these puzzle-based missions. So Quan Ha, Halsey, and Miranda's whole arc in this episode feels like an homage to that. Ackerson is also on a kind of puzzle-solving mission, because he is trying to unpack what's going through Margaret's mind. When he runs a simulation on this spike that is supposed to deactivate a Covenant ship, the simulation that the Spartans practice on, it is actually going to create an unimaginable explosion that will destroy everything in its vicinity. The Ring, the Covenant, and the UNC. Basically, if the humans can't get the Ring, then Margaret will not only disallow the Covenant from getting the Ring, but she will also stop the Ring from existing. As Ackerson decides to act on it, he is cornered by Kai and Master Chief, and the latter almost chokes him to death. He manages to relay somehow what he has learned to the two Spartans, but Master Chief doesn't want to trust him, he just wants his suit. When they get to the chamber with the Spartan suit in it, Kai and the Master Chief have a brief conversation about Vanak, and how the Master Chief feels guilty for making him blindly follow orders and bringing him to his demise. Then he turns to Ackerson and essentially orders him to go out and tell the truth about Margaret and their involvement in the destruction of Reach. Master Chief goes for the Ring. Master Chief and Kai discuss what needs to be done to address the current situation. Master Chief wants to reach the Halo to prevent the UNC or the Covenant from controlling it, and Kai wants to join her fellow Spartans on the battlefield. How? I'm not sure. If Kai is the one who has to use the spike to kill everyone, Master Chief worries what she would do, what action she will take. Kai advises him to concentrate on his task while she considers hers. At Onyx, the unlocked chamber turns out to be a laboratory, and in that laboratory, they see a dead alien body lying there and holding on to a device of some sort. They don't get the chance to explore the lab because it starts to crumble. Miranda, Halsey, and Quan have made a run for it. While running back to the caves, Halsey notices a whole city underneath the bridge. Quan sees that all the white dots in the holograph of the space are turning red. She says something vague about growth and runs away. What is Quan up to? Your guess is as good as mine. Halsey does that stupid scientist thing with that stupid look on her face where she thinks that she is at the helm of something revolutionary, but there's a good chance that like always she is going to make a big mess of it, and then pretend like she is a victim of her own curiosity. Miranda and Halsey head back to lab B pledged to figure out the history of that city in the caves. Miranda manages to partially unlock the device that they've acquired from the corpse of that alien in the lab, but Halsey ghosts her for some reason. Halsey is annoying. The fleet begins their attack on Makee's ship and sees how the Arbiter is still standing beside her. Makee decides to brand herself with the insignia that the Arbiter uses on himself to prove that both of them are bound to each other and the purpose of taking over the ring. Kessler enters Thermopyle, but Saurian doesn't allow him to go through the grueling ordeal of fighting a bunch of grown men. Saurian takes them all down and tries to save Kessler from any potential trauma. However, that plan backfires as Lara and Kessler are captured by the people conducting the fights in the MOP. Paul Paris makes an attempt to persuade Master Chief to accompany them in facing the Covenant at the conclusion of Halo Season 2 Episode 7. But because they have distinct missions, they part ways. When Ackerson confronts Margaret, it's obvious that she won't stop leading the Spartans one by one to their deaths. Master Chief leaves the Halo and boards one of the UNSC ships. Margaret is told by Ackerson that no one would believe her lies, and that Master Chief will reveal the real story of Reach's devastation. While the Master Chief moves in the direction of the Halo Kai and leads the Spartans toward the Covenant. I won't lie, this episode was a little messy. Except for the revelation that Margaret is truly evil, it mostly spent its time leaving open endings that will hopefully be resolved in a satisfying way in the season finale. Well, next week we will certainly get to know what happens when Makee, Master Chief, the UNC, and the Covenant converge on the Halo.